My sister came to town and she never left. With toothbrush and lipstick and a loser named Chet. They make the bed on the kitchen floor next to Uncle Teddy.
Good.
Close
All right, so I've got everybody doing scales. We watched some videos. If you haven't watched the how-to videos, watch them on the Canvas announcement page. That's where they're at. And you're going to do two different drawings. One of them is just going to be a practice. So, I mean, it's really just you practicing some of these things that these guys are doing in the video to create scales. And if you do three little simple organic shapes and you put scales on them, I'm cool with that. I don't care if you do a forearm or a cylinder, fingers, whatever the case may be. As far as your picture, it doesn't have to be any bigger than that colored paper I sent back with you. Could be a little smaller than this if you like. All right, so less than 8, around 8 by 10. Colored pencil is the easiest. Marker takes forever. It looks cool, but it takes forever. Pencil's all right, I suppose. And if you want to do watercolor under colored pencil, that works real well too. All right, let me show you super fast my texture section. All right, so what I would do to make my life easier is I would probably try to go find an image on the internet to use as a basis for this drawing, whether it's a pose for a mermaid or whether it's an actual snake itself. Because really what this is about is creating texture and practicing texture that so somewhere down the line, when you have to do an alligator or an iguana, a lizard, something, you can make it look legit. Like the biggest problem with scales is people want to draw them like in that brick pattern, the offset brick pattern, and they don't make them conform around the form. So that's kind of why we're doing what we're doing here. Snakes, great idea, super simple to do ish. Koi, you could do fish, you could do them in watercolor, color pencil, marker. Like I said, marker takes forever. This one is actually a watercolor, so you could do watercolor of fish if you like. Some people want to do snakes because they're like snakes are easy. They're like drawing a hot dog that can bend. These snakes fill up the paper. I had a kid this morning who was doing one, and he literally, not to be mean, he basically drew a snake in the middle of his paper. I'll hold this up in a little square. It was about that big in relationship to the paper. It's really hard to draw scales if it's small. In fact, all the cool stuff you learn from these videos doesn't work if it's too tiny. Like I said, multicolored snakes are online. They're real. They're out there. People are genetically modifying snakes to have different colors. This could actually be a legitimately modified snake, as is that python there. That's called a piebald. It's an albino mixed with a regular baby ball python. And had I known snakes live for 30 years, I would have got one of those instead of the boring old python we have. They're really lazy pets. They don't do much. So yeah, if you wanted to do a super close up like that, that would be cool. If you want to go look for something a little more exotic, like the mint baby ball python, that would be great. That also would be an awesome picture if it was a ice cream cake. All right, that just came to my head. If snakes freak you out, there are iguanas. They're fun to draw. Alligators, close ups of iguanas. If you're like, I don't want to draw that lizard body, it's hard. Okay. Komodo dragons, like all these things are online. You can find them, and if you basically just do a portrait of a lizard off a photo, I'm cool with that. Or if you want to get creative and make up your own thing, like your own dragon, a portrait of your own dragon, I'm cool with that. The important thing when using the colors, the shadows around the scales, the highlights around the scales. Here we have a beautiful one by Michael Whelan, because like I don't think I've seen a bad painting by him. He's kind of awesome. I like this one because he managed to incorporate the Grim Reaper holding a vial of something that could be blood or poison. If you rather do lizard people, whether you believe or disbelieve that they are controlling our world, up to you. And definitely mermaids, as long as they are semi-school appropriate. Well, school appropriate, I guess. We don't really need bare-breasted mermaids. Once again, bigger you draw them, the easier it's going to be to do those scales. And what's really cool about this one is he added all this other sea life to help balance out the fact that that mermaid is not particularly all that big. So the bigger you draw the mermaid, the less background you got to worry about. And the easier it'll be to do the scales. All right. So there's all the possible subject matter you have. If you think of something that has scales that I haven't, just contact me. And if it sounds like something that you could apply these techniques to, sweet. You'll have one quick sketch that's going to be you showing me how to wrap that scale around something that has a three-dimensional form. And then you will have your drawing that will be smaller, 8x10, colored paper. You could do it on white paper if you're going to stick with pencil shading. Any questions about any of that? Yes. I am so glad you asked if you can make it digital, because I have a digital video to show you. So let me sign out of this and I will show you my digital video. Plus, let me stop my recording.